Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how I made jewelry out of our resin skins. Okay, this is a resin skin that's still a little bit pliable because it was just from a pour the other day. Then I've got some that are pretty thick. All you're going to need is, if you're going to make earrings, you're going to need some findings. Some jewelry findings is what they're called. These are called kidney shaped wires. The reason I like to use the bigger ones is, well, it's just my preference. You can put whatever you want on it, but when you punch a hole in it, you'll see it fits right on there. These are some other ones that have got like a little ball right at the end, and you would just slide it on right here and just follow the loop around until it gets right here. But that little ball keeps it from coming off. But first, you've got to get your resin into shapes. And I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, I've got these two hole punches. Hang on. Left one over there. And I got this. This is a metal hole punch I got at Hobby Lobby, but it punches a pretty good hole too. Okay, you're going to need a rubber mallet. You're going to need to get some shapes, and believe it or not, these are from like Hobby Lobby and Michael's in the clay section. The reason I got this one out is because it makes a nice size round earring, but I got these bracelet blanks and it fits right in there. Okay, so you can cut a piece with that. Then you're going to need your heat gun, and it's very simple to do. Okay, I will do 2 round ones out of this. Okay, where are my little pliers? I prefer to hold the metal clay cutter with a pair of needle nose pliers, because I don't want to get my fingers near it or even on it because it's going to get hot. So first, and this is just a regular old cutting board. I'm not even sure what kind it is, it's so old. But it's just a cutting board because you want something to protect your surface, your table. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to heat up the end of the cut end, or the sharp end, I should say, edge of the cutter. Okay, and basically it doesn't take much to heat it. Okay, and then once you got it heated up, you're going to find a spot you want to put it at. And I'm just going to put it right there. And then basically, and if it doesn't go through with the end being hot, with the metal being hot, you can always do a little bit of this around it to soften up the resin. And you don't want to hammer. So what I do sometimes is I'll put it over it. And and you can see it's almost through down there. Sometimes if it won't separate, if you pull up on what's outside of the ring, it'll separate. And see? Then all you got to do is push this out. Then you got a perfectly round circle. And I can probably, the cutter won't go all the way through because it's got like this little metal ridge right here. So basically I'm going to cut 3 more because I'm going to make a bracelet and 2 earrings. So you want to hold this with your pliers, and you want to heat it up And you want to get it right over where you want to cut. You want to push your cutter down. Okay, see, that one didn't even go that far in. But if you look at it, you can see where the ring is at. And you can put it right back over where it was at. And then basically, you're just going to heat up the ring and the resin around it. And then you're going to push on it some more. Reason I stand up when I do that, oops, I got a little bit crooked, it looks like. Let's see. If it doesn't cut all the way through on one side, you can put your cutter back on it and just put more pressure on that one side where it didn't go all the way through. And then if all else fails, hang on, let me grab my little X-Acto knife. I like using this X-Acto knife. It's made by Fisker because it's so easy to control. And basically you can cut through, because see, the heat made it pliable. Let me see if I can get this on there and heat it up some more, because it might take a couple of tries of heating it and pushing through. Ow, careful, because it is hot. And see, I ended up cutting it in the wrong spot the second time. So I ended up getting a little extra piece that you can just use your X-Acto knife to trim away. I'm trying not to block it with my head. You'll notice I don't have gloves on. You don't need gloves for this part. That one I may use in the bracelet blank. Okay, then you want to pull it back up the way it was, from the shiny side up, and heat it up again. And you take your rubber mallet and you push as hard as you can. See, that time I got it to go through. And then got to be careful, because at this point the little metal piece is hot. And I just dropped something. Now I can't find it. I just dropped a piece and I don't know where it went. Okay, now I've got 3 of these. And you can look at it and see where the shiny side is at. Now this one's a little odd shaped. So I'm figuring that it's going to go... Nope. That's not going to look right. And basically, if your cutter fit in there, because like these blanks that you can get at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or even Joann's, they're standard size. I think this is 1 inch. But to make them into earrings, basically I'm going to use that one for the blank. Basically, you can take these little hole punchers. You get these out of the paper department. Don't worry that they say they're for paper. Okay, basically, you want to make sure you keep a little bit of enough of a lip above it, or, you know, don't punch too close to the center. I mean, to the edge. Okay, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. See, that's got a nice little hole. Now, what I sometimes do to make sure I get the hole the same distance on the other one is I'll make a mark with something, in this case my X-Acto knife. Now I can see the mark. Then what you have to do is you have to get your little hole punch right over that mark. And then there you got two pieces. It'll be easier. Well, I could put them on these too. Now you're going to want this to be in front. So basically, you're going to pull the wire through. And it's going to take a little bit of tugging to get that down in between there. You might even have to open it up just a little bit. You can pry it apart with a pair of needle nose pliers. But when you pry it apart, you're going to have to go back and you're going to have to close this up just a little bit so it stays put and doesn't try to climb off the wire. And basically, there's your earring. And then this right here, you can put some E6000 or diamond glaze in there, or any super glue really, and then you can push it down. And if you look at it from the side, you can make sure that it's all flush in there before you let it dry. Okay, and then there's the other earring. I'm going to separate this just a little bit to make it easier for it to get in there. You want to put your ear wire in from the front, because when you turn it around this way, the ball is going to be in the front. Then all you have to do is take these and squeeze this back together just a little bit, not all the way, because you want it to still dangle. Well, dangle is best. It's not really dangling. So anyway, and then you can do other shapes too. Let me see here. Okay, now here's one that was poured about a week or so ago, so it's pretty hard. Okay, so basically, I'm going to want to heat it up really, really good. So basically, okay, come on. Basically, you want to heat up the metal. Because you're holding it with the needle nose pliers, it's not going to, you shouldn't get your hand hot. Okay. And I think right here would be a good spot. And I got it started. Now I'm going to heat up the resin itself too. Even though it's dried, it'll still heat up and become a little soft right there. Okay, basically I'm going to have to stand up. You got to probably stand up to get leverage. I'm trying not to rock the camera. And if you hold it down and pull up the piece, that should also bring the metal through it. It takes a couple of tries to get the metal to go through. Okay, now I see where I'm having my problem at. It's not going through this side. So you want to put the mallet closer to the end that's not going through. Okay, it's going to give me a fit. And this is basically all you have to do to get this metal piece to go through it. Is just keep heating it up, pushing it down. And sometimes it'll just break away like this. Which that's okay too, just don't have it break away from the part that the other part that you want to use. Okay, that's going to give me a fit, so I'm going to turn it over. And cut through it. That didn't turn out exactly straight, but you can usually trim it up with a pair of scissors. Okay, now let me make the second one. You just heat around the edge like that. That'll not only get the metal hot, but it will also get the resin skin hot. Aha, see, that one went completely through just by hammering it. And then you just, from the front, you just poke out your piece. I'm not too happy with this piece that I cut, so I'm going to cut a third one. Just to get a perfect size piece. You want to aim your air at the bottom edge that's going to be going through the resin. Okay. Aha, there we go. And I know that metal's hot, so... Oh, that's just a little piece of resin that broke off. Okay, now I have got 2 perfectly shaped diamond pieces. Now, if your edges look a little bit rough and you don't like it, you can always take some 400 grit sandpaper and just lightly sand the edges. Okay, then you want to take your hole punch. I like using this smaller one. And you want to punch your first hole on the hole on the first piece near the top. Sometimes it might stick to the hole punch and it might get a little bent, but that's okay because it'll still flatten out with your fingers. Now I'm doing a hole in the exact same spot as the other one. So poke through the front after I've matched them up. It's okay that it got just a little bent because it's still soft enough it'll flatten out. And these I'm going to put on the kidney wires. Now what you want to do is, let me see, nope, that's not going to work. When you start it on the back of the kidney wire, you want the dull side, which is the back side, to be up as you're passing the wire through. Because that way, when you bring it over the top, the shiny side will be on there. And I'm going to squeeze that just a little bit. Okay, and there you go. There's a nice little earring. Okay, here's the other wire. Okay, dull side up. Put your wire down through it because when you bring it over, the shiny side will then be towards the front. And I always like to close this just a little bit. And there you have it. A pretty pair of earrings that I'm sure anybody would be happy to wear. And you can find many of these shapes. I found some other shapes that were bigger, but I haven't played around with them yet because they're like butterflies. And I think when I cut the butterfly out where the hole's at, I'm going to have to put a couple of little jump rings through there to then attach the wire to that. Okay, I'm going to close this guy up just a little bit more. There we go. And let me close this guy up. So anyway, I'll make a list in the description box that's going to be below the video of everything that I used in here and where you can get. And it may not be exactly where I got it from, but it'll be the same. It'll be a link to something that is almost the same. There is other ways you can make these into earrings. Once you've cut them out, without punching the hole, you can get these little ear studs. Basically, they're a metal stud, a metal circle with a stud on the back. And basically, you can just super glue it. Let me see, that's the front. You can just super glue it right to the back or use diamond glaze. Let it dry, then you'll have a pair of post earrings. And this is a great way to use up all those great colors you have in your skin, resin skin. And I know that Erica said at one time she didn't make jewelry, but now she can see how to make jewelry. There's the earrings. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that for anything. And this is going to be glued into the blank. And then another thing you can do, you can also, if it's thin enough, you could put a very, very thin coat of just put a couple drops of epoxy. Stand this up in like a piece of foam. I wouldn't do it on, well, you could probably do it on this. Just something that you can clip it onto that'll hold it flat. And then once you put a little bit of epoxy on it, but your best bet for that would be to get a piece of a square of foam, styrofoam, and just stick these two ends down in there to hold it flat. Put your diamond glaze in, or whatever adhesive you're going to use. Put your piece in. Then next time you mix up some resin, take your little stick and just put a couple of drops and kind of smooth it out a little bit, because resin is self-leveling. Anyway, and then you let it dry, and then you got your resin piece. So anyway, I hope that you learned how to make earrings and other assorted pieces of jewelry from this little video. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comment box. If you like this video, please do a thumbs up, make a comment, and share it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and make sure that you tap on the little bell so you'll be notified of any upcoming events. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.